Hey, what's up you guys? It's Brianna and today I'm going to be talking about my sorority recruitment experience. There's going to be some tips and tricks at the end of how I got through the process. Even though it was a hard process, I did it. So you can too. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have my computer right here. I took a picture of the recruitment schedule. This will help me stay on track. Before the whole process, you have to fill out an application. Just sign up for recruitment. As for the application and the sign up process, I did this like 3 days before. It was very last minute. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna join one. I just love the positives. I just love the positives of joining sorority. I'll try it out, and if it's not for me, then you can always drop. So I signed up. During this sign up, you write a lot of things about yourself. You write about your GPA, your clubs that you did in high school, your major, anything about you, and this is actually so important. During the time you don't think it's that important, you're like,
whatever, it's just like a basic thing.
This is actually essential, and you'll learn about this more later on. After I signed up, I kind of went and I stalked some of the sororities, like their Instagram, and I watched their old recruitment videos, which I don't know if I recommend. It really didn't change my idea of them, but if you're somebody that's easily swayed by those kinds of things, then try to keep an open mind. My school is a medium-sized school. We only have 9 sororities. Each sorority gets about 15 to 20 PNMs depending on how many people like stay during recruitment or don't drop out. In general, most of the sororities are like 65 girls, more or less. Like, so recruitment is made up of usually a week. It's usually like a rush week. That's how you're learning about all the girls and deciding what you want to do, your ranking and dressing up. For us, the first day we went to an orientation. So this orientation was where you met your programs, which are, this can be anything. It's like your recruitment guide. They disaffiliate from their sorority. They're there for you. You ask them questions. They give you advice. They completely just don't talk to their sorority. There's a certain time frame. It's like August to the bid day that they have to not talk to anybody. So it can be a very difficult job, but very rewarding if you're helping girls get to the right sorority. I met my 2 programs. And at my school they were very accommodating. If their schedule didn't match up with the recruitment schedule, they kind of changed your group. So that's what happened to me. So I got 2 new programs. I didn't really talk to anybody in my group. That's just me. That's not what I was there for. I was kind of there to like meet the other sororities. I don't know. Everybody has their own things that they do. So I kind of stayed to myself and I didn't talk to my programs at all, but that's okay. At the meeting we got this booklet. I'm going to hide because there's numbers on it. So it just says Sorority Recruitment Fall 2017, and there's the Panhellenic symbol on it. And down below it's a Rogama's name, Rogama's cell phone number. So you can write their names, and then there's like the VP of recruitment and they have her number. In the booklet it says welcome to formal recruitment and tells you what to use the booklet for. There's basic information about each chapter on each page, and on the next page there's a note side where you can write everything you talk to them about. They also give you like a recommendation of what to say, to try asking about the chapter's values, to ask about their academic programs, traditional philanthropy events, involvement on campus, and involvement in the community. So then there's just the different things. I have notes written on there and I don't want to like show them because they're just very specific, and I'd recommend trying to look at their name tags and get their name because it can be stressful. So you try to remember their name, and that's not the most important thing at that moment. You're more focused on making a good conversation, have them engaged, and just connecting at some level. I also got this name tag that they would give us like every day, and then eventually they forgot, so I just kept it. I dug these things out of all my books from my dorm. I still haven't moved that much stuff out of my dorm room. They're just like chilling all over my room. Kind of lazy, I know. I found these surprisingly. It just literally says my name in very small print. I don't know. You're probably wondering what to expect, what's gonna happen. So on our first day, we got, well, at this orientation we got a schedule of all of the group times, all of just the times in general. You just had to keep track of it yourself. This is like really detailed, and I don't know if I want to go into it that much because it really pertains to my school. If you want to learn more about it, just comment below some questions. I'll be happy to answer them. As for the first day, it was Sisterhood round, so we met, I think it was split up, oh, I have it here. Sisterhood was 2 days. We met like half the sororities one day, half the sororities next day, and then at the end of those days we ranked them by all 9, so it's like 1 through 9, what you like the best, what you like the least, which I found very difficult because, I don't know, just one conversation with somebody doesn't really make me want to be there. I need more connection than just a conversation. Through this process, you line up, whether you go up to houses or you go up to rooms, which that's what we did, because all the sororities have chapter rooms except for one which has a house. We just went to this main building and all the rooms were next to each other, so we just went through each one. They did their chant, everything was timed perfectly, everything was together, and it was a couple hours a day. Very stressful. The most difficult part is like remembering what you're talking about and who you're talking to. Make sure you just remember these things and write them down in that book. This girl's going to know a lot about you. Most likely she's gonna have something that says what you wrote in that sign-up sheet, your major, your clubs. This is how they match you up with that girl, so you guys have something to talk about and it's not just crickets. They do you favors. They do know a lot of things about you, but they have to pretend they don't. What's your major? What are you interested in? What did you do in high school? Like small talk, but I think the best conversation is when you get out of that small talk and you might be talking about the most randomest things, some story about you and your friends doing this stupid thing. That's how it creates a good conversation and a good flow. After those 2 nights, we ranked the sororities from 1 through 9. I found this so difficult. I was like, oh my god. I went with my gut feeling. I'm just gonna put what I think, and I try not to think about it too long. There was other girls thinking about it, freaking out. I just put it down and I told my Rogam what I wanted my order to be, and she entered that in. I'm ready to go. I'm leaving. The next round was philanthropy, which is the foundation or where they donate their money when they fundraise. So they might have a little activity for you to do, but you're not allowed to take anything because that can be a bit promising, something like that. I found that really fun. Really keep the conversation going by relating a lot of things to yourself. One of the sororities had a reading program and they would read to different kids somewhere local. I connected that with my mom being a teacher, elaborated upon that, made it more personal to myself. They can really see that you care about their philanthropy as much as they do. This is when you rank, I think, 1 through 6, at least, like for me. So you knock off those last ones, got called back that day, and then by pref round, you rank them again. Prep is when you get down to your last 2. There's nothing more stressful than that. Your number 1 and your number 2, possibly you don't get either one of those. So I was so thankful that I got called back to my first 2 that I'd put, and I got to go to their chapter room and house, and I got to see what their rituals were. Main ritual was, this is where they're pulling at your heartstrings.
I love my sister.
This is what it means to me.
They're trying to get you. At that point,
I want you.
You better put me as number 1.
They want you. At that point, I was just extremely stressed out because I had girls saying how much each one meant to them, and I was just,
wow,
I can't believe that. I want these great people in my life. It was stressful, but I just ended up ranking my number 1 and 2, and I got into my number 1. I ended up ranking my number 1 and 2. You know what? Whatever happens, happens. They obviously don't want me in this sorority for a reason. They obviously want me in this sorority for a reason, so they know it. They know where I belong. I'll just trust the process. That's what everybody says. I went back to the auditorium, the lecture hall. They passed out all of our bid cards, and the girl next to me, we just happened to be talking. We had different handwritings on our cards, and we both had the same number 2, and we were we knew we had gotten our number 1, and we opened it up when we did. That was really great, and we ran to all of the other girls that had gotten the same sorority as us, and we got our shirts on, and then we ran outside and we ran home to the other girls in the sorority. I have a whole video on this and the clothes that I wore during this process. I'll put it up there. It made the whole process worth it. I was so stressed out. What if I don't get the one I want? So many things running through my head. And I should have talked to the Rogams and taken advantage of them more, but I didn't, which is something I regret. You guys can learn. As for some tips, they might be repeating of what I've already said or just elaborating. One thing that everybody says, and I know, but it's so true, really be yourself. Don't put on a fake persona just so you can get into a certain sorority. Just don't. You probably won't end up being happy. That's the whole point of recruitment, is to get a home where you feel like you belong. Don't take a lot of things personally, especially with a ranking system. If you rank them a number 2 and maybe they ranked you a number 5, just because you ranked them number 2 could have been the reason why you didn't get called back. The girls in their sorority know if you will belong. They have a whole background process where they all rate on you and talk about you, so don't take it personally, because they really do have a long conversation about each person, which is stressful on their part. I said this before, but really keep an open mind that goes along with being yourself. You'll find your way somehow. Don't be afraid to start conversations out of your comfort zone. I know people who have had more in-depth conversations, and maybe it was an emotional conversation, but it ended up being so memorable to them, even to the girl they were talking to, and that kind of brought them back. You just built a stronger connection to those girls. Make sure you take good notes, whether you get a booklet like this or you write on your phone or anything, or write when you get back to your room. Somehow keep track of these things, because it'll all just fly out of your head and you'll be like, I don't even know what I talked about. Also, don't get stressed out. It's really not the entire world. Even though it's hard for some people to accept that, it really isn't the entire world. Don't get stressed out like me. There was just so much happening at that time that I was just so overwhelmed. Life in general, just coming to college and everything's the first time. Finally, just accepting that you can just go with the flow, let things happen, not stress yourself out. It will be a perfect experience for you, and I wish you all the best. If you have any more questions, comment down below. I'll be happy to answer anything. If you want to see any of my other videos, I have a video of what my bae got me for Big Little Week, so I will have that somewhere in the description or on an annotation. You can also check out my other videos. I'm going to be studying abroad in fall for 4 months, so if you're into travel and want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you got something from this video, don't forget to like this and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I post a video. I've been posting very frequently and I plan on posting more, so look forward to those videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see ya.